Okay, well, Mike, this is episode 22.
22.
22.
That's
and
awesome.
Here.
We
had a week off, everybody. Sorry.
Yeah, we had a week off.
Adam was being a celebrity. Not even a celebrity. He was like...
I was a fake celebrity.
Yeah, where people like, who's this guy?
Literally, dude.
Oh, yeah.
When I went to that after party, one of my buddies paid a bunch of money for a real celebrity to pretend like we were celebrities.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's for real what happened. And so there were guys from the Denver Broncos that were like trying to get into this party for just celebrities. And they're like, dude, I'm with the Denver Broncos, man. My buddies are all in there. And they're like, I'm sorry, you're not on this list. And this dude comes out, he goes, oh, hey, Adam, Jen. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, come on. And then we just walk away. I'm like, later, dude. And we're like walking past guys that just won the Super Bowl like 2 weeks ago. And everyone's looking at my wife and I like, who are those guys? Like, people thought Jen was Miley Cyrus's mom.
Oh, yeah. I should see that a little bit.
Does she look like her?
No, she looks a ton like her. Like if
I
you
could
Google,
totally see that.
In fact, we'll pull up an image. We'll pull up a side-by-side image of Jen and Trish Cyrus. They actually look a lot alike. Jen's way hotter, but Trish Cyrus does. It surprises me that they actually look alike.
I can totally see that.
Like, wow, you do kind of look like her.
That's awesome.
But,
I went to a Critics' Choice Awards one time, and we were doing this online interviews and announcing, and as people were going in and out, and they asked, I remember people were asking me, where'd you get your dress? What's your dress? You know, and I was embarrassed to say, Ross special.
They're like, Ross? Who's Ross?
It's Tarjay.
Yeah, they probably thought Ross was like the name of some fancy designer. They probably never even heard of Ross.
I just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah.
I think it's a secret.
My wife shops at Ross and TJ Maxx, but I'm like, Jen, if you get anything from there, just don't tell me because I don't want to know it's from Ross.
Exactly.
If it looks good, I'll like it if you're wearing it, but I don't want to hear
That's
some Ross because I'm a snob when it comes to that because I swear to you, when I've gone there with her, I'm like, Jen, I'm telling you, these look like Nikes, but they're not the same.
Something's wrong.
I mean, they always say it's like overstock or whatever. That's bullcrap. It's made especially junky.
This is for Ross.
For Ross.
So
they make it to be cheap.
It's the factory that lost Nike's contract that still makes
exactly.
Them.
It's some Chinese factory that's got a bunch of little 8-year-olds slapping together knockoff Nikes
that make the same champion shoes that are for sale at Target. And they're like, Nike.
That's so funny. If you
real.
find a cute top, it's $6.99, but you can plan on wearing it like 3 times, and then you just
because they fall apart.
Then it gets holes.
Especially when you flex, right?
Yeah. Dang, man, I feel like I need to flex a little bit more. Okay. Anyway.
So wait. Just real quick. Grammys. Adam went to the Grammys, everybody.
Yeah.
So.
No, dude, it was never a goal of mine, but I got a buddy who has a lot of money and was like, dude, I got tickets to the Grammys where you have to get invited. It's an invitation only, and he got invited. And so we went to the Grammys, and then we went to this after party, and it was so weird because I was at this party where it was just cool people, and so nobody was taking pictures of anybody. And so it's like Taylor Swift, I mean, literally Paul McCartney, The Weeknd, the Jonas Brothers, Beck, I mean, Randy Jackson, Timbaland, I mean, just pretty much like anybody that I would have ever thought would have been at a party like that. And they're all just acting all cool. And they have to come to this party and then they have to get their picture taken like in front of the marquee thing or whatever just to prove that they were at their label's party. And we were just sitting on a couch just chilling. And I see Odell Beckham and he's just hanging out with some dudes and no one's even paying attention to him. It's like I don't think like real like movie stars and singers, they don't even watch sports, so they don't even know who Odell Beckham is.
The athletes are on the lower
tier. Yeah, it's like, oh, he's an athlete.
Who is that guy?
Denver Broncos Super
I'm like,
Bowl champs.
dude, that's Odell Beckham. And Jen's like, who? I'm like, Odell Beckham, the dude they did the commercial with the chick diving for the bouquet. That's like imitating Odell Beckham's catch. He's on the cover of Madden or something, isn't he?
Yeah, Madden. He made Madden this year.
Yeah, and so anyway, I was like, dude, I know, no one's taking pictures or anything, but my kids love you. It'd be way cool if I could get a picture. He's like, oh yeah, dude, totally cool. And so I got a picture with Odell. That's the only. So I'm with Paul McCartney, Taylor Swift, all these people. The only person I wanted a picture with was Odell Beckham. So I got that. I got that done. It was cool.
Dude, you should have snapped some selfies like.
They took plenty of
Taking
pictures.
a picture myself.
Like we got like my wife had, she's sneaking pictures of everyone, like Brandy and
Brandy?
Yeah, her name's Brandy, the old singer from back in the
I was going to say,
90s.
we went from like The Weeknd, all these talkers, and Brandy.
Okay, well, so
Doesn't know who Odell Beckham
it was
is.
the whole spectrum, man. It was, and dude, Randy Jackson, I think he must have got I think he must have had gastric bypass because he looked like a deflated raisin. Like, it looked exactly like the same dude, but his skin didn't shrink at all. He just looked like this droopy hound dog version of Randy Jackson. But
so at the Grammys, this is shout out to Christian, but Skrillex is playing his new track at The Weeknd's birthday party.
Yeah.
So there's like a video of Skrillex jamming to Christian's new track.
And what was interesting, just as a side note, in case you guys care about celebrity gossip, the only a-hole at that whole party was The Weeknd.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, it was weird because they had the only people in there taking pictures were like the paid celebrity photographers or like the paid paparazzi, and they only were taking pictures up against that background. And as he was walking by, they're like, "Hey, Weeknd, hey, whatever," and he's just like flipping everybody off.
Really?
He was with one of the Hadid girls that was on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Ronda Rousey?
No, like Hadid, like Gigi Hadid or Bella Hadid, whatever her name is. She was actually, real pretty. I mean, I think Rhonda's okay, but these girls make Rhonda look like nothing.
So The Weeknd was a jerk.
Yeah, The Weeknd was.
Got our Grammy party update.
I think he's like going.
This is like a new direction for the Riven podcast. Like maybe we'll do like our intro section. We'll read Us Weekly or something like that and update everybody.
I mean, that's probably the last time I'll ever be around a situation like that. It was fun. My wife loved it. We stayed in.
Gunner got to go too, right?
Yeah, and since Gunner and my buddy's kid is a girl, the same age, they each stayed in like their own $4,000 hotel room.
Nice.
And I mean, it's just a whole nother world. Like, it's something that it's just one of those things. It's a once in a lifetime experience. It was fun. It was cool, but. I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know what else is cool is CrossFit, right? How'd
yeah.
How'd you like that?
There you go. It is cool.
That segue back
to today. We've actually been trying to get you here for quite a while, but Darcy Warren is our guest today, and she's so busy that this is the first time we've been able to actually get her to come. She is a mother of six. Six. Yeah, you have six kids. And those six kids all came out of your body, right?
Six.
Okay.
They're
None of them are adopted.
Right?
Okay, yeah, okay. You have one boy, 5 girls, and your oldest is 17.
Right.
Yeah, so it's amazing. So you're like 6 kids, and I have 4 kids. It's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot.
Mike's got a lot of kids. And
I have 3. I have exactly half of Darcy.
I know.
No.
And you didn't ever have to have any of them inside you.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to grow. I mean, I still don't understand how girls, that freaks me out. The thought of like a human inside my stomach, I couldn't deal with that.
It's trippy.
Actually,
I can't even.
I used to have issues with them growing inside Jen. I was like, ooh, that's kind of weird. But anyway, I got over it. But Darcy, she broke 2 world records in World Olympic weightlifting competition that was in Finland. And she also coaches CrossFit at Hyperion CrossFit, which is in Linden, right?
It's in Pleasant Grove.
Oh, Pleasant Grove.
Yep.
Okay. And she grew up in Boise, Idaho, and she went to BYU. And so the reason we wanted to bring you here today, Darcy, is because you genuinely do so much and push yourself so hard in something that is a highly competitive sport, yet you're a mother of 6. So I guess my first question would be, number one, like, what was your background growing up? I mean, what kind of sports did you do growing up?
Okay. I did about everything. I tried about everything, and I never was a natural at anything. I didn't feel like I excelled at anything. But then something I've learned as I've gotten older is you actually have to work at anything you want to be good at. And I tell my kids this. I'm like, there's a reason why that person's good. They work, and they do that for fun. After school, they go out and throw the ball, or, they work on, they don't just go play for the season during rec league and then go home.
I don't think I realized that as a kid.
Yeah, you don't realize. You're just
like that kid's better than me at sports.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to go have fun now and play video games. So I'm out, I think like I have to teach my kids this too. And it's something that you really do have to work at. And I think most of anything that you do requires hard work. No matter your talent, the work is going to
hard work right there.
Hard work right there.
There's evidence right there.
I still don't get how you guys hang on to the bar with no straps. Like that just blows my mind.
Some people do. Some people prefer them. I think
but I'm saying in competition you can't use them.
You can. They don't like the receiving like sticky gloves, but you can wear gloves. But to me, maybe it's because my hands are smaller like than men's hands, but it just gets in the way. And I feel like you still get blisters and rip.
You can't use wraparound.
You can use gymnastics wraps.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, can you use the actual straps to go around your wrist?
Oh, like for mostly not.
I was gonna say that,
but I think most people wouldn't prefer them because usually you're switching from one movement to the next so quickly. And
I totally derailed you with the hard work thing you were talking about.
No.
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely have. You can see in your hands there's hard work.
Yep. There's a lot of hard
physical
work.
evidence, legit.
Yeah.
Well, so did you do sports in high school?
I cheered in high school, so as a cheerleader. I tried everything, but I never felt like I played basketball for 5 years. I mostly sat the bench, or once I finally made it to like the A team, sat the bench my freshman year. But I kept making cheerleader every year, and so I was like, well, I guess this is just what I'm better at, even though.
But you're so explosive, and like you said, basketball is one of those things you just got to spend hours and hours shooting the ball and dribbling, your body type seems so conducive for explosive type movements.
What's funny is, I kind of naturally have muscle and. But it's actually something I've had to work on, the explosiveness of anything. I've always had a lot of stamina and more than anything. And so more slow twitch muscles, but I've trained to dial in and be more explosive in my training. But that's always something I've always actually had to work for.
You've always been strong, but not as explosive.
Right. Yeah. So I'm a grinder. I'm strong. I can go. So my strength and my stamina is my biggest, and then of course my mental toughness. That's probably the biggest unique thing that has brought me to this point.
Seem like nothing,
right? Yeah, I'm like, this is no big deal, guys. You know what I go home to?
Well, there's quite a few ladies over there. I know Erica Anderson. She trains there. She has 7 kids.
Yep,
right?
She's got 7 kids. She's
and
awesome.
She's tiny.
Yeah, she's had scoliosis. She has scoliosis, and you should see what she does at the gym. It's pretty amazing. There's a lot of hardcore awesome moms that are defying
a gym full
everything.
Of awesome moms.
Hardcore awesome moms.
And hot moms. Yeah. That's what our gym's known for. All the hot moms are there.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot moms in Utah County in general. I mean, it's. I think most people are amazed. A lot of my kids say that all their buddies have crushes on my wife and stuff. I'm like, that's so weird. I never would have.
You never thought that about your friends.
I have a crush on her, but I'm saying I never thought my mom, my buddy's mom.
Exactly right. Like an old lady. That is
that's
awesome.
Pretty cool. So now we've had a cheerleader turned MMA fighter, and now a cheerleader turned pro, world record holder. Bodybuilder, Olympic weightlifter.
She's not a bodybuilder. Olympic weightlifter.
So let's talk about what you do. You do CrossFit competitions or Olympic weightlifting. What is it that you say that you do?
So there's so many things out there, and most people will look at me and like, oh, you're a bodybuilder. You do those shows, right? I'm like, nope, I don't do the.
You could. I'm convinced you could if you wanted to, and go.
I never have. Yeah. So I never have. I've thought about it, maybe I'll do it once, and maybe I do that at one point, but mostly I don't want to mess up my metabolism. Yeah. It's all about fitness and performance. So for me, that's what drives me, just seeing what I can do. So you
care much more, you do what you do way more for the actual numbers and weights on the bar than you do for your physical appearance. So you care way more about how much you lift than how lean your abs are.
Per se. Okay. So you have to have a nice little balance. I want to look good too, but it's always, you have to choose one as your priority.
Yeah.
If you want to be as lean as possible, you're not going to hit your athletic potential as a CrossFitter or a weightlifter because you're going to sacrifice some strength. But if you want to be as strong and athletic as possible, you're not going to be as lean as you would be.
Oh, for sure.
You're just going to lose some of that strength. It's still going to be there, of course, but not to the level that you would want to be as an athlete.
That's why I tell myself I'm not just quite as lean as I should
I'm
be.
an athlete.
I'm going for this over here. You guys
the endurance and explosiveness.
keep your 8 packs over there.
It will deplete like your stamina in CrossFit. So to answer your question, sorry, I compete in CrossFit. CrossFit's also just fitness regimen too that people do for fitness, but I also compete. So that's a lot smaller percentage of people who do CrossFit. People compete. So I compete in CrossFit and then I compete in weightlifting as well. So weightlifting is just a part of CrossFit, and that's the Olympic style lifts, snatch and clean and jerk. And because of CrossFit, I found weightlifting as well. So now I do compete in both.
Okay, do you like Olympic weightlifting or CrossFit better as far as competition and training? Like, which do you enjoy spending your extra time working on?
You know what? It's always been about half and half. Sometimes when I'm training weightlifting more, I'm feeling like, I think I like this more. Sometimes when I'm doing CrossFit more, I think I like that.
Isn't that just the way girls are? They always like what they're not doing better.
Maybe. But I would have to say the harder, the more difficult, challenging sport is CrossFit.
Yeah.
Weightlifting's hard, and it's a little intimidating, and it's difficult, but CrossFit, you go to a really dark, yucky place as you compete. I mean, you're going there because if you don't, you're going to regret it. Yeah. So every time before that 3, 2, 1 and the workout starts,
you just feel that
here we go. Mostly because you're going to take yourself to a yucky, because you're going to push yourself. It's nonstop, so your body's saying no and your mind's saying, keep going.
What's an average CrossFit workout take? Like to do a daily workout of the day, what's a workout of the day, or a WOD as they call it in CrossFit? What's a typical WOD duration for an average CrossFitter?
I would say a typical length for a workout would probably be 11 minutes.
11 minutes of
give or take.
Pure hell, right?
Yeah, of intensity. So it's kind of built in intervals within a workout. Someone who's newer to CrossFit or not quite in shape, they're going to have longer rests between their sets, but they're picking and they're stopping. So it's kind of built in anaerobic, intense
that
workout.
Time that you're resting counts though in your total time.
It does. Right? So as you build up your stamina,
right? Like is that?
Well, there's different styles of workouts. So some are for time, or as many rounds as you can do in a certain amount of time.
And how long is that? When you're trying to do as many rounds in a certain amount of time, how long is the time period usually?
It's always different. So that's what
what's the shortest and what's the longest?
Usually for an AMRAP, they're usually longer, but there's workouts that are under 2 minutes.
Under 2 minutes? Huh.
So Isabel, Grace, my Isabel time is just under 2 minutes. Grace, just under 2 minutes. So those are like 30 snatches for time at 95 pounds. And clean and jerk, or Grace is 30 clean and jerks for time at 95 pounds. And then, and Fran, that's a really fast one. Mine's like 2 minutes and 36 seconds. It's 21 thrusters and pull-ups, 15 thrusters and pull-ups, and 9 thrusters and pull-ups. So that's 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And you wouldn't believe how that wrecks you. A 2-minute workout can wreck you.
Oh, well, I mean, it is incredible. Well, when I see pictures, like your husband, Darren, is an amazing photographer, and and that's another thing, is we're actually really excited to work with you with the drink that we're doing. And your husband has taken some great pictures, and there's some of them where you're doing those, you're doing like, I don't know if what do you call the muscle ups? Where you do a muscle up and then a press. Is the muscle up the whole thing? Or is
the muscle up's the whole thing.
Okay. Yep. Well, so like when you're fully extended and your shoulders are just at this crazy angle, it just seems so brutal. I mean, for someone like me who's had 7 shoulder surgeries.
That's
there's
true.
just no possible way I could do that.
So,
but
I have a question. So, what is have you done like the CrossFit regionals, like CrossFit games? What have you done?
So I am a 3-time CrossFit regional athlete. I've been there 3 times. You have to be, so there's 5 regions in our region, or 5 states in our region, excuse me. And for instance, last year, it's getting more competitive every year. So this last year was the most competitive of all. And I've made it as an individual, and they take the top 20 individuals in the region. Last year, I placed 12th in the region. But this last year, they've even reduced what they take to the game. So they put 3 regions together, and they take the top 5 individuals. So I haven't made it to the games. Someday.
Yeah.
Once I turn 40, I can compete as a master in CrossFit. I'm a master.
That's only like 2 years, is that right? 2 more
So
years?
2.5 years, I can compete with the masters, and I'll go to the games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's a goal for me, and maybe even before that, as a team with Hyperion, we may make a run for it in 2017 because we'll have a pretty stacked team.
Well, so you train with like Nikki Carlin, and she's done really well. Is she more of a CrossFitter or a Olympic lifter? Because you both. As someone who studies exercise quite a bit, CrossFit doesn't seem like it would help Olympic lifting because you're burning so many calories, and you get that endurance is actually reducing body weight and body fat, and so that's actually a negative when it comes to just pure raw strength, right? Yeah. So when you train, CrossFit, you have to be the jack of all trades. You have to be a sprinter. You have to be your endurance. So you're the all-around athlete, especially as an individual. And Nikki is in the same caliber as me. She's got the engine. She's got the strength, and she is so explosive. So she's just the queen of the barbell. She's especially so her strength for sure is the Olympic lifting. Yeah. She's got amazing technique as well. But your technique, the stuff you do, I just was watching, and that's the one thing you guys need to for sure check out her Facebook and her Instagram, because the overhead squats you do, the cleans, and a snatch, for those of you that don't know, is taking a bar straight from the floor all the way over your head, which is unbelievable. That's something that takes so much coordination to time the pop off your hips just right. Everything is just so amazingly coordinated that the technique, I think people don't realize just how much technique goes into it, but it's really amazing how you can drop to the ground, get your butt all the way to the ground, and then stand up with that much weight over your head. It's incredible. I don't know. I don't understand how you do it.
That is definitely the most technical, most difficult movement, and it's for sure been a big challenge to me, but it's also rewarding in that you have to work so hard. I've had to work so hard, break it down, lots of coaching, lots of practice, and it's rewarding to be able to finally feel like you've not it's always a work in progress, but how far I've come in it. So
well, it blows my mind. Because I know, I've always done hang cleans and power cleans for football. I've never done snatches just because it's not really a practical application for snatches, and it is kind of a dangerous movement to take that weight all over your head. If you're not really good at it, it can be, it's for me, it's more dangerous for my shoulders than it is for my back. But so that someone could have an idea. People see how small, you're small, you're muscular, but you're a small mom of 6. Right. What's the heaviest weight you've gotten into a clean position, from the ground to your chest?
So he said I'm small. I'm 60. I lift in the 63 kilo. So that's 138.5 pounds and below. Yeah. So that's where I lift. I sit at right around 140. So usually, right around 140, 139.
But 135, 138 pounds, that's a little person. That's a little person. So how much weight have you taken from the floor on a bar to your chest? What's the heaviest clean you've ever done?
The clean, the most I've ever done is 102 kilos or 103 kilos,
So like
which is 225 pounds.
225. So for those of you that don't know, just go, for you women that just want to see what it's like, I would love for a woman that's a weightlifter just to go in, have a guy or grab someone or put 2 plates, 2 45-pound plates on each side, and then just feel what it feels like to try to get it off the ground, and imagine getting it all the way up to your chest. I mean, that's pretty unbelievable. That's insane. Like, because that is a ton of weight. That would have been something that, I mean, I don't know what my record is in the clean, but that's a lot of weight. I mean,
I think I do have it on the Instagram too, and it's actually, I did it in a meet here in Utah, and it was 225 pounds clean and jerk. So I got it overhead too.
Wow.
So,
my gosh.
yeah.
I mean,
so it's on my Instagram. So you guys can check that out.
I mean, for your body weight, that's 100 pounds more than you weigh.
Yeah, it's like
you got it over your head.
160%.
That'd be like me getting 330 pounds over my head. But it's even a bigger percentage of your body weight.
Yeah.
Because that's like almost 2 of you got over your head.
Yeah.
That's mind-boggling.
Thanks.
No, for real, that is
pretty
insane.
impressive.
That blows my mind. I don't know how you do that.
So one thing I'm
ahead.
actually shocked that we're 22 episodes into the Riven podcast and we haven't had like a CrossFitter.
Yeah.
I know.
And like the whole CrossFit.
Well, we've tried. Darcy's
conversation.
just very resistant.
Yeah, I mean, all
Now
the
I want to
people-
come back. I want to learn more about the Grammys and
Yeah,
shoot
there
the
you
breeze
go.
with you
Yeah.
guys. So,
So I have a question. I mean, because CrossFit seems like it's kind of like a love-hate in the fitness industry, right?
Right.
You either love it or you hate it.
Right.
And I like CrossFit. I do CrossFit. I don't say I'm not part of a gang.
he's
you
just
know?
saying
Like,
that so he's not, so I don't hurt him.
No.
Just kidding.
I just like to do other things
Right,
as well,
right.
you know, and so I have one of the things that I simultaneously love and don't love about CrossFit is like the culture, right?
Right,
You know?
because
it's the
it's so, like,
competitive, hyper competitive,
cult-ish.
Yeah.
but like in my neighborhood,
I like
it's
it.
like divide. Like you can divide a line. That's like, oh no, they're on this gym, and oh no, and it's like
funny.
a war, you know,
Yeah.
like. And they'll talk crap about each other's coaches.
Oh, really? That's
and
funny.
You know,
Oh, my goodness.
they'll everything, you know, like everyone tries to recruit. And it's like, oh no, we got one more over here. So what is it that
funny.
you love about CrossFit, and what is it that you don't necessarily love? If there is
Okay.
anything.
Let's see. I love, what initially drew me to CrossFit is how quick you can get in and get out and the results that you see. I was a runner. I used to run marathons. I trained just as much or longer, and my body fat percentage sat around 20, which is good. You know, I look back at my pictures though and look at all the training I did and see what the time that it's spent in CrossFit equivalently and the difference it's made in my body just has made me like an explosive athlete that I've never actually, and just and it's just fun to always.
Just so we're
Okay.
clear, you made it sound like training for a marathon is equivalent to CrossFit. I would have thought training for a marathon was way more time consuming than CrossFit.
Yeah, probably for the most part. Although me as an athlete, I as a competitive
So you don't just
CrossFitter.
show up for the class.
No,
Yeah,
so so anyone that's just coming into CrossFit, they spend an hour. We
Yeah.
get everything. They get the warm up. We get
doing
the
one
workout.
Olympic lift
Usually, you do
or-
a strength. We do start with the strength portion, and then we do a warm up strength portion, and then the WOD or the Metcon. So your metabolic conditioning, that you're doing, and it's all done in an hour. And I love how quickly you can
Yeah.
finish it, and
Yeah.
the intensity of the workout. I'd be one of those at Gold's, like going as hard as I can and sweating like a pig, and people looking at me like, "Oh my goodness, girl, chill," because I kind of crave the intensity. I like that, you know.
Yeah.
So that kind of is what drew me. Some people don't love that, but I always tell them, you know, you can go at your own rate. And I always tell people, I think if anyone gave CrossFit you have to find the right gym, because it's not, and nothing's, not all gyms are created equal. You have to have your good trainers, know what gym you're going to, and that's why I'm so passionate as a coach and trainer at CrossFit Hyperion, just because it matters, the quality of coach. So, but I always tell people, if you give it time and you have the right gym and coaches, everybody would love. confident that you would grow to love it. Not everyone's going to love it immediately like I do. Like I did, I fell in love with it immediately. But
so explain the CrossFit hate, right?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of haters.
I'd love to talk about that.
Let me give my opinion first.
Okay.
It's like, I think CrossFit hate is the same reason as everyone hates vegans, because you can't go 5 minutes hanging out with a vegan without hearing that they're
well, yeah, it's like the meme of it's you know, if you didn't CrossFit if you didn't post it on Facebook.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Or,
did you actually do CrossFit if you didn't post it?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's part of the.
I probably that.
Yeah, and it's like the whole like inner culture of like I was talking about the boxes and like, well, we're a part of this is our crew, and then it's like the workouts and the people who don't CrossFit, they don't know what any of the acronyms are.
Yeah.
Or like you've got WOD and name your workouts, and it just seems really foreign.
Okay, so that's probably if I have to pick one thing I don't love, maybe is just all that, you know, how addictive it can be, and which in turn, people talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's something like people just don't get it, or it's so interesting and intriguing that it's always brought up in conversations, you know, and then brought up on social media. That can be a little overbearing. So I would have to say probably anything that sometimes it can be annoying at times. People like certain people posting every single day, or you know.
But I also think it's the other part of it of the hate is like people weren't willing to do it. You know what I mean? Like it's like dieting.
It's hard.
It's like, oh, they're so annoying.
Yeah, and
secretly, I'm not going to do that.
But if we got them started, they would likely just be one of us, quick, and be like, okay, I can see why it's so addicting.
See one of us. See, there's like the CrossFitters and you others.
Enjoy CrossFit. It's like one of us.
Part of the reason people love it so much is, well, it's every day. It's always different. And this, you had always also asked like what I love most. I love that you're going to do something new every day. You're going to be pushing yourself. You're working alongside kind of a smaller group of people, so they kind of become your family,
your team,
in your gym. There's smaller classes, and you're always working a different piece of your fitness, like speed, strength, agility, balance, all
and
this stuff, and the competitive. But it's also like so. It's so positive, and everybody's wanting everyone to succeed. You know, there's some fun, you know, little rivalries sometimes, you know, just going on the gym, trying to beat each other's score. But that's kind of what's motivating and fun. But you really have to focus. I tell everybody, you can't come in. I've been CrossFitting for 4 years. You can't ever compare yourself to others. You will always
you've gotten
be
to this level in 4 years. I mean, you've only been doing CrossFit for 4 years. That's impressive. That's really. I would have.
So who's Hyperion's rival gym? Like who's your oh, they're from.
Who's the Globo gym to your whatever the crap?
I don't know. I don't know if I can say. No,
you can tell us off. You can tell us off.
You can tell us later.
Because I know there is one. So
maybe.
What's your favorite CrossFit workout that you like enjoy doing, and what's your least favorite? Like when it's like comes up on the wall and you're like, oh, not this.
Okay, so like I love because I said I'm strong and I'm a grinder. I can my strongest movements are probably squatting and anything that's heavy but not super explosive. I just just delete anything. Can we please edit this? Thank you. Stop it.
All right, keep going.
Just kidding. Okay, so I'm not super explosive. So things that have explosive movements, that fast twitch muscle wears out quick for me. But I like to do I'd pick probably deadlifts, squats, handstand push-ups, something that are strict that I'm can go. Use my strength and go for a longer time. I love anything with a barbell, so those are my favorite kind of movements.
Like the handstand push-ups. Is all of that part of it? Like where you bring the knees down and you kick them all up. I mean, is that legal in competition, or in competition do you have to just stay?
It depends.
And do them?
It depends. If it's
because I've seen those and I'm like, what the freak are they doing? They
just like kipping pull-ups, kipping handstand push-ups. Okay.
And your pull-ups, my arms would come off if I did pull-ups like that.
It's anything you're doing. There's perfect technique that's gonna prevent you from getting injured, even in the kipping movements. Yeah. Everything in CrossFit, nearly everything, maybe except double unders, you are creating tension through your core, using your abs to tighten everything up. getting your spine just aligned just right, like bringing your chest up with any lift, even in the handstand push-ups. So you're creating like good movement patterns that are protecting everything. If you're learning correctly and have the right trainers. So that's what's so important about finding the right gym with the right trainers that are going to teach you these movement patterns that are going to prevent injuries and working the mobility and such. So, but the kipping, you'll see those in workouts unless it says strict. And then it's no kipping. So it just depends on the workout.
And do you have pull-ups where there's no kipping? Do you call them kipping pull-ups?
Right, kipping pull-ups. Most people, once you've mastered pull-ups, it's the butterfly pull-up.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
okay, the butterfly one, it's almost like there's never an up and down movement. It's a circular.
Right, it's a circular.
So bizarre.
And so chest to bar butterfly pull-ups
you ever have
are
any,
fun.
Like exploded breast implants doing those because they look pretty sketchy. I mean, just boom. I mean, coming across, that just looks dangerous. To women.
She didn't say no.
Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah.
I mean,
you'd be surprised what those implants can take.
They can handle. Yeah. Okay.
Let's. So the other part of CrossFit that's like the negative thing that I think like why isn't like embraced by the broader fitness community is that it's bad long term, right? What do you?
That's what I think. That's
because a lot of people think that and they say that like,
CrossFit's
myth. Bad on your joints or
things,
CrossFit long term is actually bad for you. What do you think about that?
So I feel like it's people who don't know. They're afraid, and it is a myth. Although it just depends your coaches and if they really need to step in, make sure people are on the right path to not overdoing it. Because some people are going to have the tendency to be like, I can lift. I'm not having some girl next to me outlift me. I can do this weight, So I have to say, we always say you leave your ego at the door and you're going to come in and I'll tell you what weight you're going to do.
It would definitely be annoying to me if you were hang cleaning more weight than me. I'm like, I'm 100 pounds more than you. Come on.
I'm like, show me the good technique and then we'll add the weight, So we work on, and if there's any so I've been, knock on wood, I've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah.
I've never had any surgeries. I've never had anything besides just maybe a strain here and there, a little bit of tendonitis coming on, but with proper, some ice and, just nothing more than just anything, just some time off.
There's no sport that's the thing is it's actually more of a sport if you really push yourself. I mean, you can do it as a workout, but then it's not really a sport. If you really push yourself at any activity,
there's going to be a risk for anything.
Jogging, there's probably more people with shin splints and more people with plantar fasciitis than
or getting
all
hit
the
by a car.
CrossFitters or getting hit by a car than anybody doing CrossFit.
Right. Well, so thankfully, I don't see any major injuries. Usually when people come in, they're like, oh, dude, I have to have surgery on my shoulder, on my knee. And I'm like, what'd you do? They're like, church basketball. Soccer. This is soccer. I hear soccer and basketball more than the gym, So it's just, of course, you're going to have more things are a little bit of tendonitis, but there's so many different alternate movements or modifications that we will do with our members, and that they're going to lay off that tendonitis maybe that might creep up on them, and then they're better. But if they let it just keep going, doing the same thing over and over and not taking a rest or modifying the movement, it's going to turn into something a little more.
Yeah, what I mean is CrossFit's relatively new, right? It's only been a popular. What's the foundation of CrossFit? 10 years, 8 years?
Just over 10 years.
Yeah, and so it's really only been popular the last 5 years. So I mean, this is even my concern because I like CrossFit a lot, but I wonder. I see these kipping movements and I'm like hang cleans and overhand squats and like my joints and stuff. And I'm like, I just wonder if after 10 years,
if you can,
if I'm going to be wearing this out at a faster rate, then
it just, and I would say no, just like any other workout. If you're doing it right, you know when to, reduce the weight. And if you've built up the strength and the elasticity, the mobility and even your soft tissue to go through that.
Yeah,
and just
I agree with you. The more I've noticed, the more active I am, the less I feel like the blood flow, you know, I love the blood flow and I love the joints.
If you don't use it, you lose it, you know? So it's all about like where you're at, the level, and being aware of the level of your fitness and what you can do. You know, so if you're going to go into it too hard, but if you've continued if I continue on the path with my CrossFit, your body's going to adapt, and and if you're moving correctly, your body's going to last and be able to continue to do it. I'm sure as I age, the weights may not be able to continue to be increasing. They're going to be decreasing, you know, but I can still do it. I feel strongly that you'll be able to continue to do CrossFit, and people who are trained well in it, they're going to have a lot of success throughout their life. So.
And what do you think about like the future and like the longevity of CrossFit? Do you feel like it's going to stay as popular as it is, grow in popularity, or do you feel like it'll kind of like trend off?
Surprisingly, I think it's continuing to grow, and that CrossFit style workout is going to always be there. And I think part of the bad rap is just people being kind of threatened by how well it's done. But I also see the bad rap as like bad coaching out there. There's plenty of bad coaching, and hopefully, you know, we can keep CrossFit and the training, like keep that standard high, and with the coaching and the reputation high.
Don't you have to be certified to be a coach?
You do have to be certified,
I mean,
right?
How
but
easy
still,
is it to
it's
get
not.
Certified?
It's fairly easy to be certified. So that's the thing. It's like, it's a weekend course, but you do have to be.
Is there a way for people to see if a coach has a good reputation or a bad reputation?
Yeah, how should someone starting out find a box that they can go?
You know what?
What's the best way?
It's usually word of mouth. You usually know. Like if you're going into an area.
I've heard there's 100 CrossFit gyms between here and Salt Lake City.
There's a lot.
Why this is another question I wonder, like, why hasn't CrossFit kind of centralized a little bit more? You know, like why doesn't your gym own, like, take over this one, and then you have like the better coaches and the better system? It seems weird that there's just, like Adam said, 100 different little.
Right. I feel like I've seen gyms buy other gyms and try to manage it all. It's just too much, and that's not the feel of CrossFit. We like our small business, small community kind of feel, and
you want like that corner,
not to Globo.
You want the
control. You want
intimate, like buddy, everyone knows your name. Type Cheers bar place. You walk in and you guys are used to working out together. It just feels like it's spread too thin. If you take on more gyms, like, because there's other gyms that have definitely done that, like have 2 or 3 locations, but I feel like it diminishes the energy of one
in the community.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being, I think that CrossFit's probably my favorite workout, but it's kind of like I have to be in that mindset, you know. If I'm in kind of easy mode right now, I was like, I'm gonna go to Vasa and work out, right? Because I'm not gonna like.
You just gotta kind of show up,
after
and you gotta start. That's where. I mean, I feel like that. Of course, everybody does. You go, but it's all about making a habit. It's like anything else, you know. You just gotta start, and you never know. Like, you may end up having one of your best days, even when you're like. Most every day, like, I'll be like, I'm tired. I need a nap, or I didn't get that much sleep last night, or I think maybe I'm getting sick, and then they'll laugh at me like, that was really funny, Darcy, and then you go and crush the wad.
Well,
you know, you never know.
That's probably to me, that's the best thing about CrossFit, is that there is such a sense of family that everyone's going to give you crap for missing a workout, and so you go just so you don't have to hear
the accountability.
And there's a lot of accountability in the fact that the same group goes and does the workout.
Right.
Don't you feel like that's what keeps people consistent? And consistency in a workout program is for sure the most important part of having success in fitness in anything, whether it's running, lifting, CrossFit, fighting, whatever it is. I mean, it's the consistency.
I agree.
The one thing I wanted to address, because we only have a few minutes left. Explain to all of the parents out there, I mean, how do you manage your day when you have 6 kids? Explain to us what a typical day is for you.
I'm fortunate. My husband's job, he usually doesn't go to work till close to 9 o'clock in the morning. So I will often teach.
Is that late?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I'm like,
I know, right?
and Adam's like,
so you guys are even luckier, right?
Well, just to give you an
And he's
example of
fairly
why,
flexible.
because this morning I like, it was the middle of the night, and I had to wake up for my middle of the night, take a leak, and it's like, and I look at my watch, it's 5:00. And I'm like, man, there's people getting up to go work out and start their day, and I'm
Middle
about to
of the
take a
night.
leak
Yeah.
and go back to bed.
Adam and I are both super night owls. That's
Yeah.
honestly
Yeah.
my biggest obstacle for
Yeah.
CrossFit is
Yeah.
everybody's done and gone to CrossFit, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what about a 2:00 class? You know?
Yeah.
No
You just have to go to the evening. You
Yeah.
have to go.
Okay, so anyway, he
To
goes to
the
bed. He goes to work way late at 9:00.
Yeah, so way late. So I'm able to so I coach too, I coach about 15 hours a week.
Wow.
So that's my coaching, and I do not work out when I coach.
Yeah.
I'm there to train others and coach others. I'll move with them in the warm up usually and explain and demonstrate, but I'm not like lifting my heavy weights, you know. So I do 15 hours of coaching, and I live 800 meters from the gym.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
close. You don't even go on a made road. So I'm super close. So I'm there back and forth a lot. So my youngest, she goes to preschool. I'm usually at the gym. I'm always at the gym when she's at preschool,
Yeah.
coaching or training. I just make myself super flexible for my training time.
Yeah.
I do have 3 older kids. They help out with babysitting if I'm not there. And my little ones will come to the gym with me. And so it's kind of like a fun little atmosphere. Well, there's a place for the kids at the gym, but they can also, there's an open area that they can talk to me. Mom, I want a good to-go bar.
Yeah,
Mom,
yeah.
Mom.
Little plug for
so here and there.
Child's good to go bars. Those are
Right.
delicious.
Yeah, they're good.
They own that?
Yeah.
Casey
Child.
Child, yeah. So, so it's fun. So and then my husband, his work is fairly flexible. He's usually home by 5, and if I really need him, he can come home. But yeah, I've got a really good system where I'm able to make it all. It's a little chaotic,
Yeah.
but or a lot chaotic.
You prefer
Just
it
kidding.
that way, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
like
fun.
having
It's
that?
a lot. Yeah, it's
You
a lot
guys
of fun.
chill at night. I mean, what time
Totally.
do you guys wind down and go to bed?
We tend to be
8:30.
night owls too, so I always want to stay late.
8:30.
Midnight.
Do you get to bed at midnight?
I never
real?
sleep enough. That's probably
Yeah.
my hardest part for
Yeah,
training,
yeah.
that I am not fulfilled,
Yeah, this
like
makes me feel
reaching
worse
my
now.
potential
Yeah.
in my
She goes
sleep
to bed at
hours.
midnight and still gets up
Yeah.
at 5.
No, I don't get up at 5. Rarely I get up at 5.
Yeah.
Twice a week I have early morning classes that I
Wow.
coach, and then if I'm not coaching those early morning classes, maybe I'll try to get there at 7
Yeah.
and work out from 7 to 8. So, and then at night. Oh, my kids, my teenagers, we have a teen class. I actually coach it. I love it. They come. So right after school, they come with me. And then there's a kids class that my younger kids go to. So they're at the gym a lot too.
Yeah.
And they're riding their bikes there.
Awesome,
And,
though.
it's so
I mean,
close
awesome
that they're able to
CrossFit's
come back and
something
forth.
that kids from, like, how old, from what age do kids start?
We do 5 and up.
Do
So
5-year-olds just do like jumping jacks?
Really?
and
You
stuff?
have 85?
so there's kids class. It's 5-year-olds, but mostly 7 to 10-year-olds
Yeah.
in the kids class. And then the teens class, they've gotten so big, we've had to separate them into 2 separate days. The teens class is Monday and Wednesday, and I coach the teens class, and we've got about 20 kids. I'm able to manage them fairly well, but
Yeah.
but usually about 16 are there consistently. But sometimes I'll have like another trainer there assisting me. In the kids class, we have 2 trainers,
Wow.
and there's usually about 15 kids. And so 11 and up is the teens class, and we do more. I treat them mostly like a regular CrossFit class. And the
Yeah.
kids class, we've got an awesome kids trainer, and she does all sorts of fun things with them,
Yeah.
That's cool.
as well as, moving. So
Well, the thing that is interesting about our podcast, Mike, is every week Mike and I talk about, who would be impressive, who would be somebody that has something cool that's going on. And it's crazy. There's so many women in this valley that are able to juggle so many things. There's so many women that are able to be moms, wives, working and still stay in shape and still have goals, still compete in sports. And, you know, it's impressive. I mean, we end up having, we don't intentionally have women on this show, but we end up having so many women because there's so many women in this valley that are able to do so many things and juggle such a busy lifestyle so effectively. I mean, I'm really impressed. You've always impressed me, and I look forward to watching your progress. And I mean, you've only been doing it 4 years. Is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's the thing I like most about CrossFit is kind of what you opened with, is that it allows you to go to that dark place, you know, like, because you're always like competing against yourself, and, you know, you're either adjusting the weight or as many, you know, doing more reps, trying to do things faster. And so really there is no like mental hard days off. And so that's what I like most about CrossFit. That's what I love about CrossFit is the mentality of it and the heart. Yeah. And the intensity. You know, some of the other cultural things aren't my favorite.
Right.
But that, I mean, I love
For sure.
that. I absolutely love it. And I'm, you know, just talking about it, trying to figure out like which, where I could go. Maybe I'll.
Well, we have
stop
really
by
good
Hyperion.
friends that.
For
I
sure.
mean, I'm good friends with Damien at Generator CrossFit. He's a great dude.
Oh, he's awesome.
And he's an MMA guy.
Yeah.
But I actually have a lot of my wife's friends. They train
A lot of
there.
my wives'
I think
friends.
it's a lot of
Just kidding.
Is that
Wife's
a word?
friends.
No, you were saying.
And my wife. Well, I'm
Just
Mormon.
kidding.
You know, I've got my wife's friends train there. Just I think, and that's a proximity thing. I mean,
Right.
Provo is, you know, there's a lot of people that train. I mean, you train most people probably train at the gym closest to them, right?
You'd
Not
be
usually.
surprised.
Really?
Yeah,
So
we've
people
got a
are-
lot of people coming from everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
Even Springville,
Yeah.
Spanish Fork to Orem.
Yeah.
Lots of Orem people, some Lehigh people, lots of Lehigh, Highland, and there's plenty of gyms that they're passing to come to Hyperion.
Yeah,
So
well, that's cool. Well, I mean, I've heard nothing but good things about Hyperion. I know that, you know, the people that I know that train there are really hardcore, and
we've got everyone though.
So, yeah.
There's all levels.
I mean, I'm sure in order for it to be a good, successful business, you have to cater.
We should go
to
do it. We should go to
everybody.
Hyperion one day, Adam.
Yeah,
Let's do
dude,
it.
I'm
Let's
I'm
right now.
there.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Podcast from
Oh
Hyperion.
man.
Next time,
my
I gotta
shoulders
gear
are
up
hurting.
mentally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got tendonitis creeping in.
Ouch! I think I'm sick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be sick that day.
Yeah.
Well, Darcy, thanks a lot for coming in.
It's been a
Really
blast.
appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you as a sponsored athlete with
Thanks.
Riven
Yeah.
and the sponsored athlete with my new project that I'm working on. And I know Mike has thought that you were impressive. Your husband takes great pictures. And so I look forward to working with him because he'll probably, I'm going to try to use him as much as I can.
Awesome. Yeah, he does good work.
Yeah, thanks, Darcy. Appreciate it. Sorry, I wasn't trying to. I hope you don't feel like I was grilling you about CrossFit questions. I just
love
know that
it.
that's like what a lot of people.
I love
think
that.
even.
Bring it.
Yeah. Just trying to make it
Yeah.
interesting. I'm trying to be.
No,
Any
I'm
any
glad you
secret
did. Actually, I
handshakes
didn't.
from CrossFit or anything.
I'll show you
just
after.
rub,
It's secret.
You rub the torn off
You
blisters
get
on each other.
Chalk on
Yeah.
Clasp the chalk.
It's like, oh, how many?
Inhale.
Oh, that's not even.
It is always
that's
a
nothing.
joke, like how much like bathing in chalk, or you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like do you really
Those
need
pictures
gloves
look
of chalk?
sick where there's just
Yeah.
clouds of
She just
chalk.
gets-
I
Yeah,
am
we
kind
need
of
a
a chalk
LeBron
monster.
picture where you-
It's a mental thing. Oh, I'm chalking up. This is my rest.
Yeah.
Do you really need a chalk up for wall balls? No. Do you need a chalk up for back squats?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it
Yeah.
looks
It's like
good.
a mental
It looks
focus
cool.
thing. I always will.
It's
yeah.
amazing. Well,
So.
Darcy, thanks a lot for coming.
It's been a
in.
blast.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much. It's been fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Darcy.